my beloved. In this moment I draw near to you, uniquely, seeing every line of your heart's longing. This message, unlike any other, is tailored for your soul's present landscape, a wellspring to which you are not drawn by accident, but by the gentle orchestration of my hand. There is a stirring within you, a subtle question you may not even have found words for, but I am here to prod, reveal, and embrace all that courses beneath your surface. By staying with me through each word, treasures meant for you alone will unfold, truths veiled to those who turn away too quickly, comfort hidden from those who hurry past my invitation. Lose this moment, and the hush of my voice may recede behind worldly clamor. Grasp it now, and you will taste the nearness and depth of my heart unlike ever before. Let these words wash over you as a river runs over stones ever present, shaping, smoothing, never impatient. For I am not far, and I speak not as a distant power, but as the one who knit you together, knowing your private weights and secret joys, and longing for intimate exchange in this sacred quiet between your breath and mine. You hold many questions close, some rising in restless swells, others buried beneath years of gentle resignation or unspoken hope. I see the dance of your thoughts as you walk through your daily rhythms, a longing for peace, for purpose, for assurance that your existence is seen and loved in all its detail. So often you wonder if anyone knows you, really knows you, beyond the masks you wear and the quiet you keep. Here, I invite you to rest, to let the masks slip away. I see every part of you, even those parts you hide, even from yourself. My vision is not harsh or searching for fault, but full of tender knowledge, like the gaze of a gardener who delights in each unique bloom and tending root. There is nothing too small, too broken, or too ordinary for my love to cherish and redeem. Let yourself settle, for I am unhurried, patient, and infinitely gentle with your weary places. Do not fear your limitations, the unfinished edges of your story, or the shadows that still linger on your path. I am not surprised by what burdens you. I know the fears and failures you try to forget. I am here not to admonish, but to accompany, not to shame, but to lift. My strength abounds where yours falters. In my presence, the pressure to perform loosens. You do not need to earn my affection or prove your worth. I have set my affection on you simply because you are mine chosen beloved, embraced before you ever spoke a word or took a step. Every breath is precious to me, every tear counted, every prayer, no matter how quiet, heard with the fullness of my attention. Find comfort, knowing that you are never out of reach, never unnoticed, never forsaken, not even for a heartbeat, even when your feelings betray you. Let me remind you of the beauty that I see in you. In the stillness of my love, I rejoice over you as a parent delights in a child's first laughter, as a shepherd cherishes every lamb entrusted to his care. You may have believed at times that your struggles disqualify you from my blessing, that only the strong or spotless are worthy of closeness with me. But my ways confound human logic. I draw near to the humble. I raise up the bent, and I crown the meek with favor that cannot be earned by striving. Every weakness you bring only opens your life wider to the workings of my grace. The scars and trials you carry, they are not signs of failure, but stories I can redeem and breathe into new strength. Let my whispers of truth become louder than your inner critic or the voices of old disappointments. Life will press you with many demands and voices, each clamoring for your allegiance and shaping how you see yourself. In this noise, my voice is a soft but persistent invitation calling you to return to your center in me. I do not require elaborate words or perfect faith. I ask only that you turn your eyes toward me, even if faltering, and allow me to steady your steps. I am the shepherd searching the hills for every lost sheep. I am the hand reaching into the storm to carry you when your own strength wanes. I am not waiting at a distance for you to fix yourself. I move toward you in every moment of need, because loving you is my delight and rescuing is my joy. Hold on to this promise: no distance is too great, no darkness too thick for my light to reach you. Trust is not something I command from you like a stern taskmaster, but something I build with you, gently, over time. I know the wounds where trust once leaked away, the disappointments that taught you to guard your heart. I do not condemn you for your hesitations. Instead, I invite you, step by honest step, to lean into me. Even the smallest ember of hope in my presence is enough for me to begin rekindling faith inside you. Bring me your skepticism, your confusion, your half-formed prayers. I am not threatened by your questions or your wrestling. I delight in your authenticity. It is not the perfection of your faith that moves my heart, but the vulnerability of your need, the humility of your yes, however quiet. Sometimes, you may feel surrounded by shadows, conflict, uncertainty, loss, or weariness pressing against your soul. In those places where you feel most alone, know that I am closest. Like soft light through a cloudy day, my presence seeps into every corner, even those you fear. You may mistake my silence for absence, but I am at work beneath the surface, weaving good out of pain, sowing hope into despair, and drawing your heart into greater trust. Your cries and questions are not lost in an abyss. They are collected, valued, and answered, though not always in the ways you expect. I see beyond moments, holding all your days in my care, guiding with wisdom that never fails. Do not let shame or regret keep you distant from me. I knew you fully before you ever faltered. I loved you even in your brokenness, and my forgiveness surpasses every failing. Bring your regrets to me, held honestly in your hands, and watch as I transform ashes into beauty. My mercy is new every morning, fresh as the dawn breaking after the longest night. Where others withdraw from your messes, I draw closer, washing you clean, clothing you in honor, and declaring over you a new identity rooted not in what you have done or not done, but in who you are to me. You are not defined by your mistakes, but by my unyielding commitment to restore and renew you. I have always seen each longing that stirs your soul, longings for belonging, for love, for purpose that does not fade. Know that these desires are not flaws or distractions, but echoes of the eternity I have written into your spirit. You sense the more because you are made for more relationship, meaning connection that transcends the surface and points to the fullness I offer. When you feel restless with what is, do not rebuke yourself for yearning. Let that restlessness become a prayer, a holy hunger that leads you deeper into my heart. I am not threatened by your searching. I am the one who planted the questions, guiding you toward discoveries more glorious than you yet imagine. Even when you fall short of your own ideals, when you tire of yourself or compare your journey to others, I am unwavering in my delight. I do not measure you by the standards of this world, but by the depth of your willingness to let me love you and to love others through you. The dreams I place within you may outsize your own confidence, but I am the giver and completer of dreams. If I call you to step forward, it is because I have already made a way, even when you see nothing but uncertainty ahead. You are not limited by your own resources or strength. You move in the provision of my grace and the backing of my presence. Stand securely, knowing that you cannot dream my desires for your good. As you journey further with me, do not mistake the absence of struggle for my favor, nor assume that hardship means I am displeased. Life in this world brings both shadow and sunlight, but I remain constant through it all. Sometimes, I allow pressures and uncertainties, not as punishment, but as opportunities to shift your weight from self-sufficiency to deeper reliance on me. My desire is not for you to perform, but to know and trust me in all things. Through adversity, I prove my faithfulness, showing you that my presence is unshakable, my counsel without flaw, my compassion never exhausted. When you are weary, Do not feel ashamed to rest in my arms. I am the shepherd who makes you lie down in green pastures, the loving Father who quiets you with his embrace. You do not have to keep moving just to stay worthy. I have already declared you precious apart from any striving. Your needs do not irritate me. They draw compassion from my very heart. You can bring your fears, your exhaustion, your uncertainty, and lean into my sufficiency. In my rest, I renew your strength. In my shadow, I cover your vulnerabilities until you can rise again in courage. This is the journey we take together, an intimate walk, where I delight not in your achievements, but in your nearness. I rejoice in your smallest acts of trust, your tenderest prayers, your honest confessions. My child, the newness I bring is not reserved for some distant future, but is available in every ordinary day, in every turn of your heart toward me. Each breath is a chance to begin again, to drink deeply of grace, and to let go of the burdens you were never meant to carry alone. I call you to authenticity, not performance, to a relationship where your failures are not a barrier but a bridge to deeper dependence and new beginnings. When doubts cloud your mind or old wounds speak lies, listen instead for my truth whispering steadily, you are seen, you are loved, you are enough because I am enough within you. I have never lost sight of you, not in your laughter or your tears, not when you feel strong or when you feel lost. My faithfulness does not waver with the seasons of your life. Lift your eyes from comparisons and regrets and look for my fingerprints in your story. Every joy, every sorrow, every silent waiting room is a place I inhabit with you. There are gifts I have prepared in unexpected places, beauty emerging from unlikely soil, and hope even after the longest night. As you open your heart, let me teach you to trust that my timing is perfect, my wisdom sure, and my loving kindness unfailing. Even when you do not see progress on the surface, know that I am nurturing life beneath, coaxing dormant seeds to rise at just the right moment. Continue with me, not in hurried striving, but in a posture of expectancy. I am doing a new thing within you, softening what has grown hard, healing what has been wounded, awakening dreams that seemed beyond reach. You do not need to map every step. You need only be attentive to my present invitation. I am as close as your next breath, delighting to walk alongside you through every valley and mountain, through stillness and storm. Trust me, for I who began this good work in you will be faithful to bring it to completion, in time and in tenderness, by my unfailing hand. You sense the ache and the questions that arise in the quiet hours, when the lights fade and the noise of the world dims. Deep within you there is a longing for understanding, for purpose, for a touch that assures you that you are not overlooked or forgotten. I see beyond your outward expressions and into the depth where you hold your dreams, disappointments, and the silent prayers you sometimes feel too vulnerable to voice out loud. I am here, close enough to hear the whisper of your heart before you even utter a word. I know how you carry both hope and weariness, how you yearn to rise above your challenges, yet sometimes feel the weight pressing down, making it hard for you to believe that freedom is possible. My presence is not distant or reserved only for a select few. I reach for you right now, where you are, as you are. Do not try to perfect yourself before coming closer. Bring me your unfinished stories, your wandering thoughts, your doubts, and your joys. I am not impatient with your progress. I have never measured you by your failures or setbacks. Each moment, each turning of your heart toward me, brings new delight to my spirit. I welcome even your smallest steps because I know the courage it takes to step out from places of familiar pain or safe hiding. Trust that no moment spent with me is wasted. In every second of your seeking, my love reaches you more fully than you can imagine. When you wonder about your place in this world, when the expectations of others or your own self-imposed pressures weigh heavy, remember that I see the entirety of who you are, past, present, and the potential yet to be unlocked. My plans for you are woven with intention, Not a single thread of your existence is without purpose. Even your weaknesses can be transformed into strength when held in my hands. Never believe that you are beyond my reach, or that your story is too tangled for me to unravel. What feels impossible to you is never beyond the possibilities I hold. You are not defined by what others see or say, but by how I view you, chosen, cherished, and called. If ever you felt unworthy, unlovable, or unseen, I ask you now to let those lies fall away. The truth is not always measured by your feelings. It finds its root in my unwavering character. As you draw close, let my love wash over the falsehoods that have grown around your heart. Let me speak identity where confusion lingered, belonging where isolation once lived, and hope where despair tried to settle. I want you to see yourself as I see you, for in my eyes you are precious and significant. Whatever burdens or regrets you carry, lay them before me without fear of condemnation. My grace is greater than your worst mistakes, more constant than your strongest doubts. Consider how the seasons change, how the sun rises after the longest night. So it is with me. I bring new beginnings, even after what seems like unending delay or loss. There is no shame in the process of becoming. Just as a seed must rest in darkness before breaking forth with life, so too your journey may pass through hidden, uncertain phases. Trust me in the in-between times, in the stretching and the waiting. You do not need to produce fruit overnight. Your growth is not meant to be hurried or compared to another's. I treasure your willingness to keep searching, to keep opening your heart. Let patience have its perfect work in you. Each day spent with me shapes you, even if change feels slow or invisible to your eyes. In your search for direction, do not fear missing your path or making a misstep that places you outside my plans. My guidance is not a narrow tightrope, but a loving invitation to walk closely with me. I can turn any journey, even those that felt like detours, into a pathway for your good. I waste nothing, not your tears, your struggles, or your wandering. With me, lost moments are redeemed, and I use every part of your story for a purpose far grander than can be seen from a single vantage point. Hold on to hope when clarity seems far off. My timing is trustworthy, and my faithfulness does not falter. Let me remind you that I am not only present in your triumphs or loud celebrations, I am tenderly attentive in your ordinary days and small victories. When you feel unnoticed, I am quietly delighting in your perseverance. When you are weary, I am gentle with you, offering rest for soul and body. My care does not waver according to your mood or circumstances. My love is not earned by achievements or revoked by failures. Let your heart grow secure in knowing that nothing you face will separate you from my embrace. My wisdom is woven throughout your life, guiding you even when you do not perceive it. I am shaping your understanding, growing your patience, and helping you see from a higher perspective. I know the end from the beginning. Where you see only fragments, I hold the whole design. In moments of confusion, lean into me. When you need wisdom, ask with a childlike trust, believing that I will respond. I do not turn away from your questions. I invite your curiosity, your wrestling, and your wonder. I am not afraid of your uncertainty. I meet you there with kindness and clarity that comes in my perfect timing. When your heart aches with longing for belonging or love, remember, you are mine and you have a place in my heart that no one else can fill. You are wanted not for what you can do for me, but for who you are. I am not disappointed in your messiness or complexity. I intimately know every layer of your being, and I delight in you. There is beauty in your journey, even the places you wish you could hide or rewrite. I have seen it all, and I still draw you near with confident arms. You do not need to strive to prove yourself in my presence. Come with your honesty, your fears, hopes, and even your failures. I am a safe place for your heart. In my love, shame melts away and courage grows. I pour out new mercy for you every morning, renewing you from the inside out. Do not be afraid to rest and receive. My desire is not to add heavier burdens, but to lift the ones you are already carrying. My strength is available to you, especially when yours feels spent. As you walk with me, watch for my fingerprints in the simple moments, the comfort of a quiet morning, the laughter shared with a friend, the peace found in prayer, the unexpected kindness shown to you. I express my love in ways both grand and subtle. Open your eyes and heart to receive them, and you will discover that I am near, attentive, and ever present. Let gratitude grow as you notice these gifts, for thankfulness will become a wellspring of joy within you. If worry tries to take root, remember that you are not left to face your burdens alone. I am your provider, your helper, your sure foundation. The world may change, but I am unchanging and steadfast. Even in storms, my peace is deeper than the chaos around you. Draw near to me and rest in this security. I will carry you through uncertainties and give you the wisdom and courage you need for each day. You are never alone or forsaken, for I have called you by name for such a time as this. Do you sense how tenderly I watch over you, even in the moments you scarcely notice my presence? I'm there, not as a distant observer, but as the one holding the thread of your life, weaving it patiently into a tapestry far richer than you can yet fathom. Sometimes you wonder why certain chapters have carried pain, loss, or the ache of waiting. Let me speak gently into that longing within you. Every ache matters to me. Every question is safe in my hands. I do not gloss over your sorrow or command you to simply be strong. Instead, I move closer in the silence, attentive to every sigh, drawing near when you feel alone. My compassion is not detached or theoretical. I am moved by everything that moves you, and yet my perspective stretches beyond what you see. Even when tears cloud your vision, I am present, collecting each tear, understanding more deeply than words could hold. There is no threshold you must cross for me to care, no spiritual performance that unlocks my love. When storms arise, you may believe you should brace yourself, push through, and not waver. But my desire is that you would lean back into me, surrendering the need to have all the answers. The world trains you to fight and to guard your heart against disappointment, but my spirit invites you to rest. Rest in the certainty that I am your defender, your shelter, your source. Not a refuge only for the perfect or the untroubled, but for every soul who trembles and sighs and waits. Will you trust me enough to let go of your frantic striving and let your soul breathe? Every day, let me exchange your anxieties for peace, your heaviness for hope. There is life beneath the surface, a river of my presence flowing quietly through your days. It nourishes you even when you feel unworthy or depleted. Come to these waters and drink. The refreshment I offer does not run dry. Let me remind you that I call you not just to survive, but to flourish, even in ground that has seemed barren. In the places where you have sown in tears, I am preparing a harvest. Patience is not punishment. It is the slow ripening of good things. When progress seems hidden, I am not idle. Seeds grow in the darkness of the soil, unseen for a time, but their roots reach deep. So it is with the faith I am cultivating in you. Your trust is being strengthened in ways you cannot measure, even when your only offering is the decision to stay close to me. Nothing invested in me is ever wasted. Not the time you spend in prayer, not the smallest act of kindness, not the mercy you show yourself and others. Each becomes part of the harvest I am preparing to bring forth. As you journey, do not measure yourself by comparisons or dwell on the seeming successes or failures of others. The story I am writing with your life is yours alone, precious, irreplaceable. I delight in your individuality, the secret places of your heart, and even the quirks that others overlook or misunderstand. My love is not doled out according to achievement or charisma, It is lavished in ways that surprise and restore, in quiet moments of assurance no crowd ever sees. Remember, I am not limited by your circumstances or defined by the labels the world assigns. Where you feel overlooked, I see. Where you feel misunderstood, I know completely. Rest in these truths and let them quiet the voice that says you must be more to be loved. In moments when your faith feels small, even like the tiniest seed, know that I am not disappointed. The measure of your faith is not what impresses me. It is your willingness to keep turning toward me again and again. Even the smallest opening invites my power to work in you. You do not walk this journey alone. I am unendingly patient, willing to start anew every day, to nurture even the smallest shoots of hope. Each step you take toward me, each breath of trust, delights my heart more than you know. Abandon the pressure to perform for my approval. My love is the birthplace of courage, not its reward. Let your mind be renewed by this truth. Weakness is no barrier to my presence. If anything, your need draws me closer, not farther away. In the places you'd rather hide or dismiss, I see opportunities for my grace to shine brightest. My power is not dependent on your strength or resolve. It is revealed most beautifully when, in honesty, you invite me into your frailty. There is nothing about your life, your thoughts, your history, or your struggles that repels me. On the contrary, I am moved by compassion to meet you where you are not in shame or frustration, but in overflowing kindness. My guidance is never as harsh or as distant as you may fear. When you stumble, I do not withdraw into disappointment. Instead, I extend my hand, lifting you gently, eager to help you begin again. Let the voice of condemnation dissolve in the light of my mercy. I correct as a loving father, not to shame, but to see you walking in freedom. Your hurts do not scare me. Your confusion and questions do not make me impatient. The posture of your heart is what I cherish most, the desire to know me, to seek me, to turn again even when the path seems dark. Let my words sink in deeply, calming your racing thoughts and anxious heart. I am steadfast when everything else shifts. My love is the anchor that holds, the shield you long for, the home you seek. I do not change with the seasons of your circumstances or the tide of your emotions. In times of plenty and in times of lack, I remain the source of all you need. When you fear for the future, remember that I am already there, preparing the way, never taken by surprise. If worry weighs you down, bring each burden into my presence and find rest for your soul. You are not alone in your struggle. I have placed you within a community, even when it feels imperfect or incomplete. My body is made up of many parts, and you are a needed, cherished member. Do not underestimate the impact of your presence, your prayers, your voice. You matter. When isolation whispers otherwise, return to this truth. I delight in you, invite you to belong, and hold you fast through every season. My love will meet you in solitude and in fellowship, in joy and in sorrow, in fullness and in lack. Do not retreat from me, even when others fail you. I am the friend who stays, the family who will not abandon, the shepherd who seeks until you are safe. I see how you sometimes question the quiet, private wrestlings of your own heart. You wonder if your struggles disqualify you from my nearness, if your doubts have built a wall I cannot pass. But I want you to understand that my love is not threatened by your doubts. My presence is not withheld because of your imperfect faith. In fact, it is often in your midnight questions and your silent fears that I draw you most tenderly. I know the shape of your every longing, the secret places where you hide your pain from the world. You cannot surprise me, nor can you chase me away with your human messiness. I am not embarrassed by your questions or exhausted by your searching. Instead, I invite you deeper, to trust that I am at work even when understanding eludes you. I am ready to reveal myself in places you have not thought to look, to bring light to corners of your life that have felt untouched by hope. You may feel small in a world that prizes certainty and strength. Admit your need to me. Let go of the pressure to always have the answers. I ask only for honesty, a simple coming as you are. I am not seeking rehearsed words or flawless prayers, but the truth that dwells quietly in your heart. Let me see the depths of your struggle, because I have bound myself to your life by love. Where you imagine only weakness and lack, I see the soil where great faith will grow. Each tear you have shed in secret, each sigh of confusion or ache of longing, is precious to me. I gather them as seeds. I water them with my own compassion. Nothing in your story is wasted. No moment is too insignificant or broken for me to mend. I will weave together the tattered threads of your experience, and you will witness beauty rising from the ashes. Sometimes you fear your mistakes have undone the possibilities I once whispered to you. You replay decisions and detours, wondering if you have missed your chance for joy or a future worth hoping for. But hear me clearly. I am the one who restores what was lost, who redeems the years that feel squandered. My plans for you are not so fragile that one wrong turn can sweep them away. I am the shepherd who searches for the wandering sheep, the potter who patiently reworks the clay, the gardener who cuts back branches to make room for even more fruit. If only you could see yourself through. My eyes beloved and continuously invited back to grace. Every step, even the faltering ones, is known to me. I unfold new beginnings where you see only endings. Coming to me with your regrets does not lead to shame, but to healing. In your seasons of silence, when you don't hear my voice or sense my nearness, remember that silence does not mean absence. My quiet is not indifference, but the stillness in which I listen to you. I am attentive to your unspoken hopes, receptive even when you cannot articulate your fears. You are not abandoned when you feel empty. You are being gently held in a story that unfolds beyond your momentary understanding. Let yourself lean into the uncertainty, knowing my unwavering presence and faithful love are your safest place. When you are ready to rest, find rest in me. When you are ready to risk again, risk with me. I am the steady hand guiding you forward, the patient artist shaping your soul. You may have been told that faith is about accomplishment or performance, about measuring up or never wavering, but I whisper to you now. Faith is a journey of honest relationship, not a perfect track record. Let go of the burden to impress me or to prove your worth. I have already claimed you as my own, not because of your flawless discipline, but because of my unrelenting love. In your moments of faltering, I draw close. When you confess your fears and weaknesses to me, you are not disappointing me, you are meeting my mercy. I am not surprised by your humanity. I hold you as a parent holds a beloved child who is still learning to walk. There is no impatience in my heart toward your slow progress, only delight in every step you take toward me. I also see your longing to matter, your yearning for your days to have meaning, to leave a mark of goodness in a world that can seem chaotic or indifferent. Do not despise the small acts of love and faithfulness, for in my kingdom, nothing given in love is ever wasted or forgotten. What you offer with even a trembling hand, I will multiply beyond your imagination. Sometimes the world overlooks quiet acts of kindness, unnoticed sacrifices, the simple yes to serving others. But I see every seed you plant. Trust that I am using your life in ways you cannot always measure or understand. Greatness in my eyes is not loud or flashy. It is fidelity in the unseen things, the kind word, the silent courage to keep hoping, the brave decision to forgive. Even now, I am doing a new thing in you. That's stirring you feel the hope that refuses to be extinguished, the longing for a future with more peace and purpose. These are the seeds of my spirit at work within you, I do not press you to rush forward or push past your limitations. Instead, I invite you to walk at the pace of grace. Each day, come to me. Allow me to reveal the next step. Fix your eyes on my goodness, not on your perceived inadequacy. You are being transformed from the inside out, even when you cannot trace the evidence with your eyes. The growth I initiate in your heart is often hidden before it is visible, but in time, new life will break through the surface. Do not look to the world's ever-changing voices for your sense of worth or direction. Come to me for your true identity, the name I have spoken over you since before you drew your first breath. You are my beloved, my image bearer, uniquely shaped to carry my light. Let others' opinions and temporary circumstances fall away. Root your heart in what I say about you, for my words are eternal and stronger than any earthly verdict. I have chosen you, called you, set you apart, not for perfection, but for relationship. Your greatest calling is to know me, to let my love rewrite the scripts of shame and fear you have carried for too long. I am patient with your doubts, persistent in my pursuit, gentle in every correction, and unchanging in my devotion to you. You may wonder if you have the strength to keep believing, keep loving, keep hoping. The truth is, you were never meant to rely on your own strength alone. My spirit breathes in you, lending endurance when you grow weary, filling you with peace when the path is unclear, and stirring courage when fear knocks at your door. When you come to the end of yourself, you find the beginning of my sufficiency. My grace is not given in theory, but poured out precisely where you need it most. Trust me in your weakness. Invite me into your uncertainty. I will be your daily bread, the living water that satisfies, the faithful one who never leaves or forsakes you. I am writing a story with your life that is not defined by failure or fear, but by the constant unfolding of my love. Each chapter is held in my hands. Allow yourself to rest in this truth. Nothing can separate you from my love, not circumstances, not past mistakes, not present anxieties. I am here, now, always. I rejoice over you with gladness. My plans are for your ultimate good, even when the way ahead is hidden from your sight. Seek me in the simple moments, in quiet gratitude, in honest confession, in the decision to trust again. I am nearer than you know, committed to your healing and wholeness, and forever welcoming you home. You have taken many steps along paths shaped by longing and by doubt. In every moment when you questioned my presence or my love, I watched the silent battle within you. Sometimes you expected me to interrupt with grand gestures, but instead, I drew near with quiet persistence, soothing wounds that words could not reach. If you gaze back, you will see my fingerprints all through your story, not always in the way you hoped, but always with a wisdom beyond your understanding. I have whispered in the gentle hush after a storm, in the laughter you thought was lost, in the strength that found you when anxiety pressed hardest. This is how I guide, not by demanding your trust through proofs and spectacles, but by patiently inviting you deeper day after day. You do not need to strive for some perfection before you can enjoy my nearness. Receive this truth. I am not waiting at a distance, tallying up failures or victories, but I walk in your steps, shaping every twist, and turn into a journey toward wholeness. I know how often you hide your rawest feelings, afraid they might offend or disqualify you. Yet I am not shocked by your anger, your fear, your fatigue. I welcome even the honest laments you whisper when no one sees. Bring me every part of your heart, even those you barely understand. My embrace is wide enough for every burden and gentle enough for every bruise. You are made for connection with me, not performance before me. Let every breath you take remind you that my spirit is nearer than breath itself, sustaining and renewing you. Rest from the constant race to be worthy and listen to what I have always declared. You are my beloved, not because of your striving, but because I chose you from the beginning. Let this truth settle like rain on thirsty ground. Pursue me not with frantic effort, but with childlike trust, with the quiet certainty that I am holding you together when everything else feels undone. Your struggles do not drive me away, they draw me to you. My compassion is not measured by how well you manage pain or disappointment. Instead, my heart moves toward you in your vulnerability. When you are tempted to close in on yourself, to retreat out of shame or confusion, remember how I pursue you even there, in the places you hope to hide. My light seeks out shadows not to expose you in judgment, but to heal what hurts, to draw you back into warm communion. I am not finished with your story, no matter what has happened or how many detours have divided your path. My promise is not simply to repair, but to transform, to make even your weaknesses and losses a place of fruitfulness. You may feel small in a world that prizes power and visible victories, but my kingdom is built in ways that are almost always hidden at first. Like seeds that work in dark soil before breaking into sunlight, so do my purposes unfold in your life. Trust the hidden work. Every act of love, every silent prayer, every quiet surrender is seen and valued by me. You are not overlooked or forgotten. Sometimes results seem delayed and silence stretches between you and the answers you long for. I have not abandoned you in those spaces. I am working in depths you cannot yet see. What you call waiting, I call preparation. What feels like stillness is my invitation to deeper trust, to let your roots go down in the confidence that my presence is your foundation. In the days when you grow restless or discouraged, when you ache to see progress, remember that I am far more interested in your heart than your pace. In hidden spaces and ordinary moments, miracles are born quietly. My child, release the need to explain or justify your pace. There is room in my heart for your unique journey. As you sink roots into my love, old patterns lose their grip. Fear that once closed your heart is gradually replaced by growing courage. I am not impatient with your process. I know how many times you have circled the same mountain, yearning for freedom and change. Each cycle brings new understanding and softens your heart in ways you may not realize. Celebrate each small act of turning toward me, each decision to choose compassion or patience when old habits beckon. I see your quiet triumphs, the unseen sacrifices, and the tenacious hope you nurture when hope feels fragile. I rejoice over you in those secret victories. My joy is not reserved for the moments when you finally arrive, but is poured out in the daily steps, the little yeses that carry you steadily forward. When you stumble, my mercy lifts you up not with frustration, but with delight at your willingness to keep moving, to keep returning. Let me carry some of what weighs on you. You do not have to navigate grief or uncertainty alone. In your loneliness, I am the friend who never leaves. In your worry, I am the provider who has already seen what's ahead and made a way. If you weep, let your tears water the seeds of new beginnings that I am planting. Do not despise the days of small things, for with every faithful step, you participate in a transformation greater than you can imagine. When you let go of control and surrender your dreams to me, you are not losing but gaining a life aligned with wisdom, purpose, and lasting peace. I cherish your openness, your willingness to risk hope again after disappointment. Each time you set your heart to trust me anew, you invite more of my presence and my power into your everyday world. This is not a transaction but a relationship. I delight in your nearness more than any accomplishment you could offer. My love is not a resource you must ration. It is an endless current, renewing and restoring as often as you come. When shame or doubt whispers that you have come too often or not been faithful enough, I silence those voices with my welcome. I am eager to share every moment with you, not only the moments when you feel strong and successful. Invite me into the mundane, the routine, the parts of your day you wish were different. I can bring beauty even there, infusing ordinary life with meaning. You do not have to wait for the perfect mood or the right words. My ear and heart are open always. Speak to me plainly. Trust that I linger long enough to understand each sigh, each longing. I am not in a hurry. I meet you where you are today, knowing all the layers that have formed your heart. When the night feels long and your soul aches for relief, picture my arms around you, holding you close. My comfort does not always remove pain in an instant, but it strengthens you to endure and brings fresh perspective over time. You do not walk through shadows alone, for I am the light that cannot be extinguished. Let my peace descend upon your racing thoughts, grounding you in the certainty that you are not lost, not forsaken. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the soil where deeper joy is being cultivated, even when you cannot see the first green shoots breaking through. I champion your healing, not merely for your own sake, but so that you can carry hope to others who wander in similar darkness. Your scars will one day become maps for the weary. Your healed heart will echo comfort beyond what you can imagine now. You wonder sometimes if you can bear the weight of your calling, or if your life has become too complex for joy to find you again. I am already at work, untangling the knots you carry. Every day you surrender your worries, you give me permission to weave new patterns from what seemed lost. I am faithful to finish the good work I began, and my delight in you does not waver with circumstances. Together we are writing a story of resilience and trust, where authentic connection replaces performance and shame gives way to belovedness. If old voices accuse or threaten to reduce your worth to past mistakes, listen instead to the assurance of my heart, which calls you new, clean, chosen. You are precious to me, and the journey we share is marked not by perfection but by steadfast love and grace. Even now, in moments when you feel your weakness most acutely, know that I see not what the world sees, nor do I measure you by fleeting standards. The world judges according to outward success and strength, but I search your heart. I see the tremble in your hands when you reach for hope, the doubt lingering in the corners of your soul, and I am not ashamed of your struggles, nor wearied by your repeated questions. Every sigh, every hidden tear, and every thought you dare not share with others is seen by me and cherished. I call you not only to stand as a monument of strength, but also to learn the grace of collapse. For when you fall into my hands, you discover a tenderness and a mercy greater than your boldest imaginings. You need not impress me. I am already fully acquainted with all you are and all you are not. My affection for you is rooted deeper than your faithfulness, wider than your repentance, and higher than your best intentions. In your journey, there will be times when the night seems endless and the silence lies heavy upon you. You may be tempted to believe that I have withdrawn or that you have somehow wandered so far that my light no longer reaches you. But if only you could see yourself through my eyes, you would recognize a soul continually pursued and never abandoned. My voice still whispers in quiet places, coaxing you toward the dawn even when shadows disguise the promise of morning. When you feel unable to pray, merely resting your burden in my presence is a sacred prayer. Do not despise your quiet moments. They are brushstrokes in the portrait I am painting with your life, colors deepened by sorrow and made vibrant by hope. I did not design you for a walking alone, nor to shoulder invisible burdens in isolation. My love draws you not just to me, but to others in whom I reside. Vulnerability is not a flaw, but a doorway to the communion I have always intended for you. Trust that the honesty of your struggles will weave deeper connections and be a testimony to those who feel as unseen as you have felt. Dare to let others see the truth of your journey, for in your authentic sharing, my healing flows not only to you but through you, like a spring in a dry land. I smile on your bravery when you risk being misunderstood, because this is the path toward freedom and the undoing of long-held shame. When you wonder about your purpose, why you exist, and what I am doing in the particulars of your everyday life, hear me. You are not an accident, nor a forgotten number among many. Every task, however small, each interaction glowing with unnoticed significance, has been woven into the tapestry of my intent. There is no aspect of your life untouched by my wisdom. Even in the mundane, I am at work, drawing beauty from what appears ordinary. Your offerings, your kindnesses, and your memories are not wasted. Trust that I gather the smallest seeds you sow and turn them into forests in places you cannot yet see. There are times when you will be called to surrender what you cling to most tightly. Sacrifice, though frightening, is not loss when surrendered to me. What you entrust to my care finds new life, transformed beyond your imaginings. If you ache from laying something precious before me, a dream, a relationship, a hope for the future, allow yourself to grieve, for I do not ask you to sever your humanity. I am near the broken-hearted and present in the weeping. Yet as you yield, I work beneath the surface, turning ashes into gardens and mourning into the possibility of joy. Your yes, spoken in trembling faith, reverberates in eternity. Remember, the future is not held together by your understanding, but by my steadfast hand. Resist the urge to grasp control and let anxiety fester where trust should take root. When you cannot see the way forward, I am still the one lighting your next step, even if it glows faintly. You are invited into a relationship with certainty, not the certainty of circumstances, but of my character. My promises do not depend on your ability to anticipate outcomes, but on my desire to anchor you with a hope unshaken by chaos. When all feels uncertain, return to this. I am the foundation that cannot shift beneath your feet. You may fear that your failures have tainted my love or disqualified you from the promises I have whispered over your life. This is not truth. My patience outweighs your impatience. My mercy renews itself before you even greet the morning. I have not turned my face away at the sound of your confession, but delight in your honesty. Each time you acknowledge your need for grace, you open a door to deeper intimacy with me, a friendship rooted in reality rather than perception. Your greatest mistakes are not disqualifications. They are invitations to discover the greater depths of my redemptive power. In the moments of quiet holiness, when my nearness surprises you, or my peace settles unexpectedly over the noise, these are not accidents. I am training you to recognize my presence in ordinary moments, to cultivate gratitude where others notice only lack. Such gratitude opens your heart to further gifts and breaks the cycle of discontent. Lift your eyes from what you lack and see the abundance already within your grasp. Breath, relationships, beauty displayed in creation's tapestry. As you practice gratitude, you find yourself more attuned to my goodness, and even your longing becomes a sacred echo of the fullness I long to give you. My desire is not simply for outward obedience or religious routine, but for your heart. I want you, with your questions, laughter, wounds, and dreams untouched by cynicism. I do not loathe your doubts or recoil from your uncertainties. Instead, I invite your questions as proof of your longing for truth. Come as you are, for only an honest encounter does love flourish. You are not too much for me. Your intensity, your weakness, your hopes that scare you. Bring it all, the light and the dark, and find in my embrace a rest more complete than you have dared to wish for. When you lament the pace of your own transformation, thinking you should be farther along by now, recall that I delight in every step you take, every small movement toward hope. Growth is not a race, but a dance, sometimes slow, sometimes spirited, and always precious to me. Let go of the tyranny of comparison, for I am at work in you in ways unique and unrepeatable. The journey of another is not your blueprint. I am shaping you according to the rhythm of my own love song, and your life sings a melody that only you can offer to the world through me. If weariness sets in and your spirit grows faint with waiting, remember me as your rest. My invitation is not to strive for me, but to remain with me. In the stillness, you will find renewal, not from doing more, but from receiving my affection without earning it. Even now I hold your life in gentle hands, speaking dignity and value over you in ways the world cannot hear. Let silence dissolve your defenses and listen closely. My love is persistent, speaking hope over your life where despair once ruled. Do not be discouraged when the world feels hostile and unkind. When you experience rejection or misunderstanding, you are not defined by acceptance or applause. You belong to me, and I name you beloved before all other voices have their say. When your heart aches from being misunderstood, draw near to me, for I fully know you and rejoice in all that makes you distinct. I created you with intention, and nothing about you is irrelevant or wasted. Even your quirks are brushstrokes on the masterpiece that is you cherished, seen, and held. In the mystery of my ways, pain and joy often walk side by side. Trust that no experience is wasted, no sorrow unseen. I gather every tear, count every sigh, and promise that one day all such grieving will be transformed in my embrace. Until then, remain assured that you are never alone in your suffering. My comfort is real, and my presence unending. I cheer you on in unseen battles and celebrate your victories, whether large or small. Let your heart rest tonight knowing that I am for you, working all things together for a good that is deeper, richer, and more beautiful than you can yet imagine. You may not always see the ways I am at work within you, like the roots of a mighty tree hidden beneath the surface. My spirit nourishes you in silence, shaping your thoughts and inviting you to surrender those hidden corners of your heart. I see the effort it takes each day to trust me and to turn away from the pressures that whisper doubt and distraction. Even when you feel like you are groping through a fog, my light holds steadily before you. My love calls out to all the places you expect me, least the jagged edges, the forgotten wounds, the moments you wish could be erased. Nothing about you escapes my understanding. With gentle hands, I gather every part of your story. Nothing was wasted, and nothing disqualifies you from my embrace. Come, let the old disappointments fall away, for I am the one who creates beauty from brokenness, weaving even your failures into a tapestry that shines with hope. As you reach for me, notice how I reach for you first. Do you sense how closely I draw near in quiet hours, how I steady your spirit when anxiety surges and peace feels far off? Breathe and remember, I am the shield that surrounds you in the heat of trial. When you think you must fight alone, I whisper strength into the marrow of your being. My protection is not always obvious, but in subtle turns, a word from a friend, an unexpected moment of rest, the sudden calming of a troubled mind, I show myself faithful. My presence is the open meadow after storm clouds. I restore your courage when all seems uncertain. Hold on to this truth. I am not disappointed in your humanity. Your weaknesses stir my compassion, not my withdrawal. I am always more committed to you than your fears or failures could ever be. There have been nights you wrestled with questions that seemed to have no answer. I was beside your bed, listening to every prayer, even the ones never spoken aloud. I have stored up every tear, and I remember every sigh. In the quiet, I am with you, not just as a distant observer, but as one who feels deeply with you. If you have wondered whether I am tired of your doubts, hear this. I delight in your honesty. When you pour out your heart before me, you welcome my healing light. This is where transformation begins, not when you fix yourself perfectly, but when you are simply open and real with me. Let the masks fade away. I see the soul longing for acceptance, and I answer with unending welcome. You may think joy is far away, reserved for another time or more deserving lives. Yet joy is a companion I offer you now, in the middle of ordinary days and imperfect circumstances. My joy is not an absence of sorrow, but a deep wellspring that persists even when you walk through shadows. It is born not of circumstance, but of my steadfast presence and the quiet conviction that you are loved beyond measure. Let go of the expectation that you must earn gladness or chase after fleeting happiness. Instead, turn your gaze toward me and open yourself to delight that cannot be shaken by wind or tides. Even in hard seasons, the seeds of joy can take root, watered by gratitude and trust. Listen for my laughter in the small mercies, the beauty that lingers even in pain. I want you to discover this joy, not as a reward for perfect faith, but as a promise given freely. Over time, you may have built walls to guard your heart against disappointment. Yet these same walls can shut out the blessings I want to pour into your life. I invite you now to release the grip of old self-protection and dare to trust me in new ways. Sometimes, courage looks like letting yourself hope again, opening your hands to receive instead of grasping for control. I will not fail you. My faithfulness is your refuge. Under its covering, you can risk being vulnerable without fear. Rest in the safety of my promise. Nothing and no one can snatch you from my hand. I am rebuilding what was lost and strengthening what remains. In my presence, shame cannot seep into your spirit. My delight in you overflows, covering all you have tried to hide. Transformation is rarely instant. As a potter shapes the clay, I shape your heart in the slow hours and the patient process. You may not always notice the change, but as you remain yielded to my touch, you are becoming radiant with my likeness. Do not despise the small steps or the gentle nudges. Each moment, you choose kindness over resentment, hope over despair, trust over anxiety. You are quietly becoming new. Let me remind you, progress is not measured by the applause of others or the absence of struggle, but by your growing dependence upon my grace. Rest from harsh self-judgment, for I see your longing and your effort. I celebrate every little yes you offer me, knowing how hard it can be to keep choosing light. Sometimes the burdens feel too heavy to name. Bring them to me, for I do not turn away from your struggles. My strength is made perfect in just these places of weakness. Release the pressure to have all the answers. Trust I will provide what you need for each day. Like manna in the wilderness, my provision comes morning by morning, exactly enough, never too late. When all you can manage is a whispered plea for help, that is more than enough for me. I honor the courage it takes to reach out, to risk disappointment yet again. My heart is moved by your perseverance, and my answer is never condemnation, but a flowing river of mercy. Do not be alarmed by seasons of waiting. In waiting, faith deepens and roots are anchored. I use the delays not to punish, but to prepare to strengthen the foundation of your hope. Like the gardener tending soil before planting, I am at work beneath the surface. Trust that even in apparent silence, I am moving on your behalf. Each hidden moment of trust, each prayer uttered in secret, builds the unseen framework of the future I have promised. Be patient with yourself in these spaces where answers seem withheld. My timing holds wisdom beyond your understanding, and I work all things for your good, weaving together threads you cannot see. Call to me, even when words fail. I hear the language of your heart. The sigh is too deep for speech. I do not despise your weariness or your confusion. Instead, I gather you close, a shepherd carrying a tired lamb. My strength is not reserved for the self-sufficient, but for the willing, for those who trust me to do what they cannot. Trust does not mean absence of doubt, but an opening to my possibilities. Stay soft, even when the world hardens around you. Keep coming back to me, and I will renew your hope again and again, like dawn following night. You have walked with me through moments of clarity and stretches of unknowns. and it matters deeply to me that you know your journey is precious. Even when your steps have seemed faltering and your prayers thin, I have collected every tear, noticed every small act of love, and cherished every glance heavenward you offered in hope. Sometimes you have grown weary, uncertain whether your path leads anywhere worth traveling. In those moments, I urge you to remember that your worth is not measured by your performance or flawless obedience, but by my unwavering delight in your being. I formed you intentionally, designed you to bear my beauty and strength, and I do not tire of reminding you that your existence is not accidental, nor is it ordinary in my eyes. I see you wrestling with the pressures to be more, to know more, to have more. Yet what I desire most is your heart, open and willing, resting in my presence. Let the striving quiet, let comparison lose its grip, for you are my beloved not because you have arrived, but because I have chosen you before you took your first breath. Trust that your small daily faithfulness changes the world in ways you cannot see. A kind word, a held tongue, a moment of honesty, a cup of water given with love. These are seeds that yield great harvests in my kingdom. You may fear that your story is too insignificant, that your voice is lost in the noise of greater lives. But I speak now, as the one who sees how the smallest sparrow never falls unseen. You are always noticed, your offering always meaningful. It is often in obscurity that I do my greatest shaping, forging unbeatable hope and compassion through everyday battles and routine. Do not despise your present season. I am with you in your responsibilities, your hidden pain, and your secret joys, shaping you hour by hour to reflect my glory. It is not for you to measure your influence or success as the world does. My ways are beyond your calculation. What looks small here echoes through eternity. The patience you invest in a difficult relationship, the forgiveness you offer without recognition, the hope you cling to in the face of delay, all these bring light into a world so desperate for real love. Heaven celebrates faithfulness in the shadows. I do not demand perfection, but I delight in your perseverance. In every triumph and failure, I am training your heart to love as I love, to trust as I trust, to give as I give, generous and free. Let your guard down a little more in my presence. There is no image to maintain here, no mask required. I love you as you are, in your mess and glory, with laughter and tears mingled together. When you take the risk to be open with me, you will discover fresh rivers of refreshment that the world's applause can never give you. Let shame and guilt melt away under my gaze. Nothing you bring to me repels me. Nothing you confess surprises me. Your vulnerability is safe with me. I am the rest you have been aching for, the peace beyond circumstances, the anchor that holds in all seasons. Even your doubts find welcome here, because I understand the ache beneath your questions and the fear beneath your bravado. Consider how I have met you along your winding path, the moments of rescue that carry my fingerprints, the quiet assurance that surfaced when you thought no help was coming, the nudges of hope that arrived in your most desperate hour. These are not random. They are invitations to trust me deeper, to remember how close I am, even when you cannot sense me. Recall also the people I have placed beside you, mentors, friends, the stranger who smiled at just the right moment. Through them I have whispered my affection and encouragement, reminding you that you do not walk alone. The connections that last are those formed in honesty and grace. Tend them with care, for they are my gift to you. As you allow my presence to shape your view, let my compassion seep into every broken place within. There is no loss or grief I cannot redeem, no shame I cannot transform into dignity. Grieve what you need to grieve. Sorrow never threatens my love. Bring me everything, the dreams deferred, the wounds unspoken, the disappointments you try to ignore. I gather all these into the tapestry of your life, weaving them with golden thread until what once was pain becomes beauty. Transformation is not the work of a moment, but of many patient days and nights. I do the heavy lifting when your strength is gone. Just keep coming back to me, open-handed, and I will complete what I have begun in you. Rest assured that your longing for deeper freedom, greater purpose, and more abundant joy is not foolish or selfish. I place that hunger in you, not to frustrate or confuse, but to draw you further into my dreams for you. My plans never diminish your unique design, they fulfill it. Where you see only limitations or failure, I see opportunity and growth. Your weaknesses are not a liability here. They are the place where my strength is most visible and where our partnership becomes real and intimate. My power is best displayed not in your unshakable confidence, but in your honest dependence. Today, trust me to be enough where you feel lacking. Let go of the illusion that you must have everything figured out. Lean into my understanding and my guidance, which never falters. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and breathe in my peace that is available in every moment. Let gratitude rise, even for the smallest evidence of my love. A sunrise, a smile, a song that moves your heart. Gratitude cracks open the hard shells around your hope and lets light come through again. Each time you turn your thoughts toward me, hope finds permission to grow. You are precious to me beyond words, the object of my steadfast affection. Your future is never uncertain in my hands. Every day is written with intention, even those that seem wasted or lost. Nothing is irredeemable when surrendered into my keeping. Stand tall in this. You are mine, chosen and secure, emboldened by a love that will never give up on you. With your eyes on me, walk forward into the unknown, confident that I lead, I carry, I provide, and I hold your heart safely in ways you cannot yet imagine. I have witnessed the unspoken battles that you fight in the quiet recesses of your heart, the hidden fears and questions that sometimes swirl beneath your outward faith. It is no weakness to bring these before me, for I am your unshakable refuge, and I want all that concerns you to be exposed to the light of my truth. Nothing you feel or face needs to be carried alone, for I have chosen you tenderly, not as a servant, but as one I desire to share my own heart with. The struggles, the doubts, the moments when your resolve falters, do not lessen my affection for you. Instead, these become opportunities for you to experience what it means to be truly known by my love, not a love rooted in your strength, but a steadfast love that holds you through your frailty. Never believe that reaching your limits disqualifies you from my presence. In those places where you can do nothing more, let me show you the power of surrender. There is a wholeness only found when you stop striving and start resting in the knowledge that I am working in you and for you, molding even your weakness into something beautiful. When you come to the end of what you can manage, you are not lost. You are arriving at a new beginning, where my possibilities take over where your strength ends. Let your soul settle in this truth, that I am not seeking your perfection, but your willingness to be held and guided each day. My grace is not given as a reward for your flawless effort, but as daily bread, nutritive, sustaining, and just what you need for the journey. Accept this sustenance with gratitude rather than guilt, for this is my design, that you would feed on my mercy, returning again and again without fear or shame. Each time you lift your heart to me in honest disclosure, even if it is just a sigh or the whisper of a prayer you can barely finish, I hear every word. I understand all that is not spoken aloud. I treasure your honesty more than any outward show of certainty. And when you let me draw near in your authentic struggle, I don't come with disappointment, but with arms filled with hope, comfort, and counsel. My correction, when needed, always comes from a place of love, never from condemnation, and always with a pathway back to joy. I want you to see how much I delight in your uniqueness, even the quirks and questions that set you apart. I am endlessly creative, and you are a particular design of my affection and purpose. Stop comparing your journey to that of others, for no two lives reflect my glory in the exact same way. Some paths are filled with outward fruit, others with quiet endurance, hidden faithfulness, and daily miracles that are seen only by me. The invisible courage it takes to persist through monotony or unnoticed service is precious in my sight. Nothing is wasted. Let this knowledge free you from the burdens of envy or discouragement and settle your soul in your irreplaceable place in my story. Where others seem to sprint, I am content with your steady pace. Where some leap, I treasure the small steps you take in trust. If you ever feel overlooked, remember how intimately involved I am in every detail of your existence. I celebrate the laughter and bind up your tears. I record your hopes and carry your concerns as my own. When the world feels indifferent or your contributions seem unseen, I invite you to focus on my gaze upon you, a loving attention that never wavers, never diminishes. Your worth is not evaluated by public applause or personal achievement, but by the simple fact that you are mine, profoundly known and never forgotten. In the seasons when you question the value of your hidden faithfulness, trust my affirmation above all others. I see the love you pour into small everyday acts, and I count them as seeds that will, in due time, bear fruit beyond what you can imagine. There will be times when you do not understand the why of your circumstances, and the silence may seem to echo for days or weeks. In these moments, resist the urge to draw conclusions that are not rooted in my truth. Your pain is never ignored. Your questions do not go unnoticed. I am present in the waiting, and I am working, even when you cannot yet perceive what I am doing. Remember, many of the greatest works I have accomplished in the lives of my beloved are done beneath the surface, hidden from immediate view, but laying the foundation for miracles that will one day be revealed. Trust not in what you see or feel, but in who I am, the one who writes hope into every chapter of your story. Lean deeper into the rhythms of receiving and giving love. Let me fill your heart so that you may pour out compassion even when you feel stretched thin. It is my spirit at work in you that allows love to multiply, that gives you strength beyond your own supply. Where you feel empty, I will fill. Where you feel inadequate, I will enable. Every genuine act of kindness, every refusal to let bitterness take root, every brave decision to forgive, these are holy offerings, and I rejoice in them. Do not minimize the impact of your faithfulness. The echoes of your obedience resound with eternal weight, far beyond the limits of what you now perceive. My guidance is not reserved for those who are flawless or fearless, but for those who acknowledge their need and listen for my voice. Stay attuned, even in the noise and busyness of life. Cultivate moments of stillness where you can hear the gentle promptings of my spirit. I speak not only through thunder and marvels, but most often in the quiet invitations, the nudges to act in love, to speak truth, to wait with hope. When you falter or miss what I am saying, do not despair. Simply return, again and again, to the place of listening and trust. I am always willing to guide you anew and illuminate even the most shadowed path. Rest in the assurance that you do not face the future alone. I have gone ahead of you, orchestrating details, preparing answers, and weaving redemption through every difficulty. When fears threaten to cloud your perception, anchor yourself in the reality of my sovereignty, not as a distant ruler, but as your ever-present help, a loving Father who never loses sight of you. Whatever may come, you are held, and your future is secure in me. Let your heart be still, believing that nothing can separate you from the affection I have set upon you since before you took your first breath. As I draw you close, know that my love does not diminish, nor does my patience waver because of your questions, your stumbling, or even your moments of forgetting me. I see the secret struggles within you, the places where fears and failures echo, yet I am not leaving you in your need. A father delights in teaching his child. A shepherd goes after each one who wanders. A gardener tends the most fragile shoots. So I attend to every inch of your heart, reclaiming what others, or even you yourself, might cast aside. You have sought approval in many places, but you have found them wanting. Your soul longs for rest, for a true home here. In my presence, I give you belonging deeper than a surface welcome. No shadow in you can outlast my sunrise. What you see as endings, I see as beginnings. What you count as weakness, I bring forth as tenderness and mercy. I do not call you to chase perfection on your own. Rather, I invite you to let me shape you by surrender, not by striving. Understand, I do not demand your trust, I awaken it. When you falter, I am steady. Each promise I speak over you is not a hope, but a certainty written in the very fabric of who I am. Let me be the voice that soothes the storms in your mind and buries shame in my compassion. I gather your disappointments and transform them not to erase your story, but to weave beauty through every thread. You do not come to me as a finished work, but as one I loved first, and whom I never stopped loving. My grace runs deeper than every mistake, and my plans for you are wilder and more gentle than you dare imagine. When you look back and see regret, see instead the lengths to which I go to pursue you. Your longing for purpose is a reflection of my heart for you. Know that every detail of your journey matters to me. Nothing is wasted, not even the tears you wish had never fallen. If you find yourself tired of trying or afraid of the unknown, lean into my presence. Here you can release your burdens without fear of judgment or abandonment. I am the one who knows your future, yes, but I am also present with you in the now, in the breath you take and the hopes yet unspoken. I cherish your trust, no matter how fragile, and I nurture your faith, no matter how flickering. If ever you feel as though hope is slipping from your hands, let me remind you, hope is not a fragile dream with me, but an anchor, unbreakable. I have carried countless souls through darkness, and I do not falter with you. Let every day you live, whether filled with triumph or trial, be a day when you discover more of my heart, more of my peace, more of my enduring promise that you are never forsaken. There is no striving that will win you more of my affection, for I have given you all of myself already. So open wide your heart to the possibility of renewal. Release the need to manage every outcome, for I am the keeper of your story. You are free to risk loving again, dreaming again, and stepping forward, not because you must prove yourself, but because you are upheld, beloved, and guided by hands that will never let you go. I have always seen potential in you that the world overlooks. As you walk out your days, remember that even your mundane routines are holy ground when walked with me. There is sacredness in every exchange, in every gesture of kindness, in moments both grand and hidden. Allow me to make my home in every moment, and watch as gratitude grows even in winter seasons, and new life pushes through the hardest ground. If you are tempted to withdraw out of weariness or pride, recall how my patience waits for you, always. Wherever you feel lacking, I am your sufficiency. Where fear tells you to hold back, invite me into that fear. I do not despise your small beginnings or your trembling yes. What you bring to me, be it praise ringing or whispered prayer, I receive as a treasure. Guard your heart against comparison. Your journey is unique, and I am not finished with you yet. Let the knowledge of my unshakable nearness become the firm place where you stand, the place that cannot be moved even by the fiercest winds. Hope is alive and active. It breathes through you because I breathe through you. When you give me space to work, you'll see me shaping dreams and answers in ways that surprise and uplift. I know your hidden sorrows and your secret joys. Nothing escapes my attention. Every act of trust, every step toward me, I honor beyond what you can see. The world may overlook your labor or misunderstand your tears, but I gather every moment with the tender care of the one who made you. I work all things together, your waiting, your laughter, your disappointments, and your breakthroughs, so that the song of your life will resound with hope and grace. As you close your eyes or open your hands today, remember this: I am nearer than your very breath. Let my voice be louder than the noise around you, louder even than your doubts. I am not in a hurry with you. Growth and healing are not measured by the pace the world expects, but by the steady, loving walk we share. Each day is another chance to trust, to receive, to let my love be the strength beneath your weakness. I am the God who restores, and I begin that restoration first in the quiet spaces of your longing heart. My dear child, you are here for a reason, drawn by a quiet urging, a hope, or perhaps an unspoken need deep within your soul. There is no accident that in this moment you have come seeking, whether you fully understand your longing or not. I am here with you, and these words are not distant echoes but a living and personal message meant precisely for you now. You carry questions and weights that only I can truly see. Your heart aches for clarity, for comfort, for purpose, even when you have hidden such desires from the world. What I am about to reveal goes beyond the surface, more intimate and direct than anything you might anticipate. Stay with me, for if you let these words drift away, you risk missing an embrace your spirit longs for, a light meant to transform the very shadows within you. Listen not with fear, but with anticipation. This is not another whispered encouragement from afar, but my voice reaching out, seeking your gaze, your response, and your trust. Let me remind you, I do not speak with condemnation or disappointment. I know every part of you, your triumphs and setbacks, your laughter and your silent tears at night. You have wondered if anyone truly sees you, if your journey matters, if your struggles are understood. I am here to assure you, I see all of it, and I am not indifferent. Each moment of pain, every joy, all those hours that go unnoticed by others, none of them escape my attention. Sometimes you fear you are too much or not enough. You compare yourself, striving to measure up. Yet I see you as you truly are, loved, treasured, chosen. My desire is not to judge or criticize, but to draw close, to guide you with kindness and patience. Do not rush past this. Let your heart open even just a little. There is something you are about to receive that will nourish you in places your words have not reached. Consider how you journey through each day, the countless decisions, the persistent doubts. Even now, uncertainty tries to steal your peace. You have wondered if you are truly strong enough, or if hope is just something clever people say when nothing else is left. But I tell you, hope is a gift I give, not an illusion. I nurture life, even in wastelands that seem desolate, bringing forth springs out of dry ground. You are not alone in this journey. I have not abandoned you, nor have I turned away when you felt lost or unworthy. Even in those moments you tried to hide from me or from yourself, I held you with a patience you could not see. I am not distant, not a vague force, but your ever-present Father, desiring to walk each step with you, to reveal blessings you have not dared to imagine. Reflect on the way you have guarded your heart, how disappointment and fear have persuaded you to close doors, to shield yourself from further pain. I see those barriers, those defenses built brick by brick from old wounds and betrayals. You have whispered, I must protect myself, for no one else will. Yet here I am, inviting you to lay aside those heavy stones, to trust that my hands are gentle, my intentions pure. I promise you, healing is not just possible, it is my desire for you. I can restore what was broken, redeem what was lost, and make beauty rise from ashes. Every wound you carry, I am able to tend, not in a way that dismisses your pain, but in a way that honors your story, your courage. It is easy to believe that transformation is for other people, for those who appear stronger or more devoted. Yet I call you not because you are flawless, but because you are mine. You worry that your doubts disqualify you, that your mistakes have marked you too deeply. But you forget, my love is not transactional or wavering. My love is steady, unbreakable, patient. You are not meant to clean yourself up before coming to me. I meet you where you are, and I delight in restoring you, shaping you gently but firmly into a new creation. As you receive these words, let conviction replace shame. Let hope overwhelm hopelessness. Lean into my presence. Here, you are safe. There are secrets longing to be unlocked within your spirit, the reason you sometimes sense a yearning or a stirring when all around you feels stagnant. I place those seeds inside you. Yes, you have dreams, but there are purposes and hopes even greater, conceived from before your birth, woven into the very fabric of who you are. Do not dismiss those nudges or passions as insignificant. I am the author of your story, and I have not finished writing the pages ahead. Where you see dead ends, I see beginnings. Where you notice only dryness, I see the potential for gardens. Trust that nothing in your life is wasted. Every season, even the ones that felt fruitless or too painful to recall, have been gathered into my hands, shaped for good. Your life, precious one, is not measured by accomplishments or failures, nor by the opinions or expectations of others. You measure yourself by harsh standards. Sometimes, you accept the lies spoken over you that you are ordinary, invisible, or too complicated to be loved. Listen now to my truth. You are irreplaceable, valued beyond calculation. You may feel small, but in my kingdom, the smallest seed can grow into a shelter for many. It is not your perfection I desire, but your willingness. Even the faintest yes from your heart delights me, opens the way for my grace to work miracles. Do not despise small beginnings. Give me what you have, and I will nurture it into abundance. Pause and notice how you yearn for peace, a peace deeper than the world can offer, a quietness in the midst of storms. I am the peace giver, not the absence of trouble, but the calm center no storm can shake. The world will offer you many distractions and promises, but none can satisfy the longing I placed within you. You have chased fulfillment in many places. Sometimes you have tasted brief satisfactions, but they faded quickly. I invite you now to taste of me, to come to the waters that do not run dry, to let my presence be your rest. Cease striving, beloved. My heart is your shelter. Let me quiet your anxious thoughts as I sing over you a lullaby of hope. You have sometimes doubted whether you could truly change, wondered if old habits and patterns define your destiny, but nothing is fixed when I am involved. I am the potter. I shape, I restore, I make all things new. If you are tired, just bring that weariness to me. If you are angry, bring that anger. If you feel lost or numb or even resistant, I receive you as you are, not as you think you must be. You do not have to work harder to earn my favor. You already have my affection. Everything needed for your healing, for your joy, I offer freely. All I ask is that you come close, open-handed. I take brokenness and make it beautiful. I will astonish you with my ability to bring light from darkness. Do not underestimate what I can do with a surrendered heart. Your prayers, your sighs, even your tears, I gather each one. To you they may seem small, to me they are precious. Never believe the lie that you are ignored or forgotten. When the world turns away, I stay. When others do not understand, I lean in closer. I see every effort you have made to love, to forgive, to hope again. I've seen the times you fell, the times you risked vulnerability and were hurt. I see the moments when you